All right, Barakatah Yahweh,
Barakatah Yahweh,
Barakatah Yahweh Shai,
Barakatah Yahweh
I
Shai,
call Halal, Yahweh,
Hashem,
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai.
Shai.
Are going to give double honors to our apostles and elders at Great Millstone, and honors to all your fellow laborers that are enduring afflictions, bringing out this word, sincerity, and in faith. Okay, so, the lesson we're going into is the doom and gloom covering the earth. And we want to touch specifically on you so-called Mexicans, which you're from the tribe of Issachar. And you catching a lot of hell. You and the rest of the Northern Kingdom, y'all are catching a lot of hell right now. You're at the brunt of the so-called white man's assault. So we're going to go into it. Give me Hosea 7 and start at 8.
Yep. It's the book of Hosea, chapter 7, verse 8. Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the people.
Right. Ephraim is talking about you so-called Puerto Ricans first and foremost, and it also applies to the rest of you Latin tribes, you so-called Latinos. When you say Latinos, that really goes back to Italy. Okay, y'all don't go back to Italy. It goes back to Latin, which goes back to Italy. Y'all don't go back to Italy. You go back to the land of Israel. Okay, you go back to Samaria. Primarily you so-called Puerto Ricans, because that was your capital before you got removed out of the land. So it says Ephraim, he has mixed himself among the people, which again, that's starting with you so-called Puerto Ricans. Okay, and that's what you do. Okay, you so-called Puerto Ricans and the rest of you Latin tribes, you come over here, you mix in with Edom, or you mix in with Ishmael, and even back in what you think is your homeland, the island of Puerto Rico and Mexico. What's the term that you use to describe yourselves? Mestizos, which means mixed. Okay, so that right there tells you that that's talking about so-called Puerto Ricans and the rest of the Latin tribes. Okay,
and I have Ephraimites in my family, and then one of them did some bug out ancestry.com, and then of course it says they come from European descent, African descent, and Taino descent. So they're all mixed up, man. They got everybody. They got Jake in them, got Esau in them, they got Ephraim in them, and other tribes, So just like the scripture says, and then even more so when they come here, they marry these other nations, Like all these Ephraimites I know, they're all half breeds, so to speak. That's their spirit, as the scriptures say. Yeah, name another people that fits.
Yeah, because what other groups of people are actually known as mixed? Because that's what mestizo means. That's like that. That's the so-called Latino heritage. Mestizo. That's if you ask what's your ethnicity, what ethnic group? Oh, mestizo. Which literally that means mixed. Okay, so that's all spiritual. Okay, well, go ahead.
It says Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned.
Yeah, Ephraim is a cake not turned. So if you baking a cake and you just leave it unturned, on one side it's going to be very dark, on the other side is going to be very light. You see that in families. Okay, every so-called Mexican chick I done dealt with had a cousin as dark as me. Okay,
darker.
Yeah, and it's super light, almost looking like a so-called white person, man. And that's a characteristic of so-called Latinos. Okay, starting with Ephraim, the so-called Puerto Ricans, and also so-called Guatemalans, Guatemalteco, Nicaraguense, so-called Nicaraguans, okay, so on and so forth. Okay, you so-called Brazilians, okay, which y'all are Asherites. All right, go ahead, brother.
Verse 9. Strangers have devoured his strength.
Yeah, strangers have devoured his strength. And who are the strangers? These other nations, these heathens. They've devoured your strength. Because when you go over to those so-called Latin American and Central American countries, they're not in charge of the resources. They're not in charge of those businesses out there. Who's over there? The so-called Arabs, so-called Japanese, okay, the so-called Chinese, Spaniards, yeah, and mainly the so-called Jew. When I went to Brazil, everybody on the plane was a so-called Hasidic Jew. Every last one of them. And they don't live amongst you Jakes out there, man. They in gated communities. And the only communities that are gated is for them so-called Jews, man. And you know what? They don't even step foot on the street. They go from building to building in a damn helicopter. So those are the strangers that are devouring your strength. Yeah, they're above it all, man. Because you go to Brazil, you don't really see a lot of people that you classify as white people, man. You'll see a handful here and there, man. So what Esau does, he divides our people based on them being a cake not turned. You say, okay, you know what? You're white, you're mixed, you're black. Okay, which really the majority of them, they're really actual Asherites, because you had the southern kingdom. I was taken down there, but what Esau doesn't push out is that the indigenous peoples, they were so-called black people anyways, man. Okay, they're different shades. Like this brother, right? Like his tribe, you got they look different. Some look like me, some look like him. Okay, there's different shades of brown.
Or just like and then lighter than me.
Yeah, and then lighter. Even in my family. Okay, I'm like the darkest one in my family. You know, most of them are light, but according to Esau's classification, they're considered either so-called black or Latino. Okay, it's on my mom's side, or Native American. We're all Israelites. Okay, so you had that even amongst the North. Okay, some look. What do they say? That more so-called Negro features. Okay, but you the 12 tribes of black proponents. You guys push that out.
Yeah,
that's the term that you use. But the indigenous people, that's how they look, man. You know, just like there's genetic variation among so-called black people. Okay, there could be a Jake. He got two so-called black parents, man. The kid will come out looking kind of like a Filipino. Look, what the hell? That's just our people, man. Yeah, that's just how it works because of what what the so-called white man calls genetic variation. Matter of fact, you get Jeremiah.
I got 12 and 9 right here.
Spirit.
But real quick, on what the brother was saying, you know, it's not till Esau came that we start thinking like that subconsciously and consciously. Yeah. Oh, this person this person that. Before, we just lived like we've always had. Yeah. We're people, we're brethren, we're kinsmen. We just look different. It ain't no big deal.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until the so-called white man came up with that bullshit that our people started thinking like that, man. You go to certain places, they don't have that mentality, man. Mm-hmm. Right? But it's because Esau's gone over and taken over the whole world with his media, with his movies, with his BS. Now people they think like Esau now.
Yeah. Spreading so-called white supremacy, which is why he had a chameleonaire, just we were talking about before. You know, he was getting backlash for helping out the so-called Mexican kid who was in perils right now, getting deported.
And was he getting backlash from the white man for it? No, he's getting it from other black people, man.
Yeah.
And you could tell he was mad.
Yeah.
He was mad. And he said, yo, you don't know these people. Pretty much he accepted that the Mexicanos are his brothers, man. Mm-hmm. From even way before that, he said his producer, his main promoter,
manager,
his manager, his promoter.
Yeah, they helped him pop.
And then he said, who do you think went to my shows? It's your car, man. Yeah. So he coming through for his people, man. That's why you guys that were mad at him, you're not successful like him, okay? Because you're wicked, right? You're evil.
They think like Edomites.
They think like a full-blown Edomite. Chameleonaire is thinking like an Israelite, okay?
Yeah.
He sees his people. He's thinking like how he should think, how we think. Like these are our people, all right? They're 2/3 or whatever, but they're still our people, all right?
Yeah.
This is Jeremiah 12 and 7. I have forsaken mine house. I have left mine heritage. I have given the dearly beloved of my soul into the hand of their enemies.
Yeah, that's our people going into captivity, okay? Which really, we went into captivity because the Lord put us in slavery underneath these other nations. I was reading in Ezra, and he was breaking it down, man. The Lord had to, man. Okay, our people got all these benefits. Okay, got an excellent spirit, and they just throw it away just to be low-life dirtbags, man. So the Lord jacked us up. Go ahead.
Mine heritage is unto me as a lion in the forest. Mm-hmm. It crieth out against me. Therefore I have hated it.
Go ahead.
Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird.
Yeah, as a speckled bird. You look that word up. It actually goes into color, man. So our people have different colors, man, or different shades, so to speak. Go ahead.
Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird.
Yep.
The birds round about are against her.
Yeah, these other nations are against us. Okay.
Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field, come to devour.
And that's what's happening to our people, man. Getting devoured by these other nations. Let's go back to that in Hosea.
Mm-hmm.
Read that about the shrink.
Okay.
The strangers have devoured the strength.
Like Hosea 7:9. It says, strangers have devoured his strength, and he knoweth it not.
Yeah, and he knoweth it not. Yeah, you so-called Puerto Ricans and the rest of the Latin tribes, you don't really get it, man. That's why brothers always joke, hey, if it was up to y'all, man, we'd be here till the year 3000.
Or exterminated.
Or exterminated, yeah, because And because in the process of you being mixed amongst these other nations, you actually have taken on that identity. But what's happening now is with the ushering in of Trump and the white supremacist doctrine being resurrected and being brought to the forefront, which it never really died, but in people's consciousness has been resurrected. Because everybody knows that Donald Trump is a so-called white supremacist, okay? So now you're beginning to get it. Like, damn, I'm not another nation. I'm a nigga too. Because that's how he's treating you. He's not treating you like an Arab, like a Chinaman. He's treating you just like you treat niggas. Worse. In a lot of instances, go ahead.
ICE is hitting up everybody around here, bro. And then you think ICE is going after these Arabs? Are they profiling Arabs? Are they profiling Chinese? Are they profiling East Indians?
Yeah, and Arabs are supposed to be terrorists, right? What is it? Ain't you supposed to be? Ain't that supposed to be like the main object of Esau's attention, warfare? Okay, that's who he's bombing the hell back over there in the so-called Middle East, the so-called Arabs and Hamites. Okay, but no, he's getting at so-called Mexicans primarily, because when you think of an illegal immigrant, you're not thinking of a so-called East Indian engineer who couldn't find a job and his visa expired and now he's here driving Uber. You're not thinking of him. You're thinking of a right. That's not what pops in your mind. Even though I know a gang of them men that are here illegally because their visa expired. Like you think of some little 4'10" Oaxacan Mexican dude. Okay, that's the picture. Okay,
That worked his ass off all day.
yeah, the kitchen making $3 an hour. Okay,
Chopped his finger off in the meat packing plant, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But you got all these other nations; they're not getting pulled over. They said they have ICE raids. They have ICE patrolling UC Berkeley, the campus, the big college over here.
Yeah, because you have the Dreamer program. So Esau knows that there's a lot of so-called Mexicans who don't have American documentation that go to these community colleges and go to these universities. Because what's happening is there's a crackdown because you have so-called Mexicans that are here and they're not here just to be a continual slave. They're getting a little hip to the fact that they're oppressed. Okay, like the younger generation. So that's who Esau is primarily targeting, or he's targeting the dad. He's not deporting the mom. He's deporting the father. So then the kids can grow up and just be directionless and end up like Chewy, man, on the block of troubles. Okay, with tattoos all over his face, man.
Because they take the father out.
18th Street on his lips.
If they take the father out, there's no one there to support the family anymore. Because the
But
father
the
was
hood.
there bringing all the money.
But the hood.
Yep.
But the essays on the street, man, and that's what happens, man. Esau knows that. Yeah, so he's targeting these so-called Mexicans that are attempting to be upwardly mobile because Esau set Issachar coming up over here. He set that up going back to NAFTA. Okay, because what he did was he destroyed the infrastructure in Mexico, or he made it so that they couldn't cultivate corn and other crops in their own land. And then what did they have to do? They had to come up here to be slaves in these fields, in Fresno, Modesto, so on and so forth. But see, now you got the children of that generation. They're as kids that was born in the mid to late 90s. Now they're trying to do better for themselves. Okay, they're trying to be in professional settings. Get educated, so-called. And Esau's like, no, man, you're here to be a slave. So now he's trying to kick them out, man.
Yeah, it's a Jake in Berkeley that got deported. He was a Berkeley student, and he was down in San Diego with his girlfriend, and he got stopped by ICE. And he came over when he was younger, but he didn't meet the Dream Act. He was like a year after the Dream Act with Obama. So he was going to Berkeley his first year, and they deported his ass back to Mexico, man.
Yep.
And he said that when he went into the detention camps, that they treated you like an animal. You were like they treated you like a number, like an animal, like a slave, or you were in worse conditions than a damn murderer, man. So that's
Or a pedophile.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Got precept. This is Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice ye heathens, and Salakia. Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that ye have but a short time.
Yeah, it's a so-called white man. He knows that he has but a short time. And he get Job 14:5. Yeah, the so-called white man knows that he's going out. because he sees the signs in heaven. He sees what the Heavenly Father is doing. So he's trying to take as many people out as possible. Man. He sees that these other nations are rising up against him, so he's coming down with great wrath. Who is he coming down with great wrath on? You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans who are Israelites. Bring it up.
Job 14:5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass.
Yeah, the Heavenly Father has appointed bounds that he cannot pass. That's why that Anuas Coeptus that he has his prize, his enterprise, it isn't going to come to pass, man. Because the Heavenly Father got it set up that you so-called white people can only get to a certain point. Because right now you're totally exposed. Yeah, everybody can look at your spokespeople and tell that they're lying. They're a bunch of scumbags. Every day something's being declassified by how you assassinated somebody. And then they see, well, damn, you're doing the same thing right now over in Syria. Oh, you lied about this back in 1979. It's just history repeats itself. So you're not welcomed anymore. That's why you got them Koreans. They linking up, man. They're linking up. They're trying to reunify. Okay, you get exposed on what you're doing over there in Turkey. Okay, first you were funding the Kurds. Then you were like, oh no, I'm just playing. I'm not funding it. I'm with you, Turkey. Okay, and Turkey's supposed to be a NATO ally, man.
Bro, and I saw an interview with Monique,
and
she said that she did like a podcast with some Edomites, and she said, "Hey, all this is really showing you is that these people America's getting exposed. You got to remember this country was stolen, right? You people don't want to acknowledge that, but people are starting to acknowledge that America was stolen, right? We were stolen. We were put as slaves, okay? And America doesn't want to do anything but kill you, pretty much."
Oh,
And
even Cardi B
exposed.
said that. I don't know if y'all saw that. Cardi B, she was like, hey, look, she got her little accent. Hey, the government, they gotta kill me. You know why? She said she wanted to get her parents out of here because she said all they want to do in America is kill you. So you got different tribes like waking up to that fact, man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another, and that's another reason why they want Issachar out of here, because you see these young Issacharites, they're coming up under Jake, man, under Judah. Okay, they're like linking up, and it's in order too. They're coming together in order. That conflict isn't there, and they're saying, well, look, you know what, we've been growing up in the same hoods for like 3-4 generations. So that consciousness of so-called blacks and Hispanics being related is in the air, man. Even if they don't even know that they're Israelites, but that's very prevalent, more so than I've ever experienced in my life. And I've grown up around so-called Latinos, my whole life. Us being, California, that's the spirit, You growing up, you're around some Mexicans, man, or some Salvadorians.
It was a different spirit back then.
It was very
tension.
It was war. Okay, our people looked at each other as enemies, but it's not like that anymore.
Yeah, this is Amos 9:11. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and will close up the breaches thereof.
Yeah, close up the breaches, the different tension that the tribes have had. Because we're uniting against a common enemy, which is the pedophile so-called white man. Okay, go ahead.
And I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old.
As in the days of old, because under King David, all of them tribes were together, man. All of the tribes, and it's going to be like that in the kingdom. Hey, because when you go into our history, our people have always had like an autonomy. That's why that's why you see each tribe is a nation within itself, man. Because okay, Gad will have his land right here next to Reuben. Judah would have his land, and Simeon would have his land within Judah. See, now all the tribes are clicking up. You can get that in Zechariah. To come against Esau. But go ahead and finish that in Hosea.
Yeah, Hosea 7:9. Strangers have devoured his strength. He knoweth it not. Yea, gray hairs are here, and they're upon him. Yet he knoweth not.
Yeah, gray hair come from what? Wisdom and stress, man. Yeah, if it not, yeah, because these so-called Latinos, especially you being here with the so-called white man being as legally, you go for a while, you've gone for anything the so-called white man throws at you, man, for fear of being sent back. But now that fear is leaving you, man. That's why, and Judah always points that out. Yeah, they'd rather have some Mexicans in here because they can do whatever the hell they want to them, because you wouldn't like. That's what happens, man. You so-called Latinos for a while wouldn't stand up for yourself. Okay, you get cops called on you, get ICE called on you. But what's happening now is they're like, man, fuck it, man. They're going all out. Keep going on that.
Yep. Verse 10. And the pride of Israel testifieth to his face.
Yeah, that's us when we go out there on the highways and hedges. When we do this show, when we get on you so-called Hispanics, telling you to stop being simple, telling you to stop being a punk, stand up for yourself, stand up for your power, stand up for your nation. Go ahead.
And they do not return to Yahweh their power, nor seek him for all this.
Yeah, they don't return to the Heavenly Father, which that's why the wrath of the Heavenly Father is coming upon you now, man. And because what the so-called white man is going to doing to you so-called Latinos, bringing doom and gloom to your life, separating families, that goes back to the curses, man. As a matter of fact, can you get that in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter? Because that's an actual curse to have your family separated.
Yeah, precept.
Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, this is Isaiah 47:6. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted my inheritance.
Yeah, that's what the Heavenly Father did. Because you got the Issacharites, y'all are heavy into idolatry, man. And you love your culture venerates so-called white man.
Oh, they worship them.
And it demonizes you, so-called black people and so-called brown people. Okay, that's why y'all be lightening your skin too. People don't talk about that a lot. Okay, y'all be lightening your skin. Okay, so-called Morena, that's like she want to get with like a straight Spaniard. Okay, go ahead.
It says, and given them into thy hand, thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient, thou hast very heavily laid thy yoke.
Yeah, man. There are people caught a lot of hell, man. There ain't no mercy. Okay, and the mercies that are being extended to you is this: us telling you that you're an Israelite and to get right before the ultimate judgment comes, which is these nuclear missiles, and before that, you being chipped. Hey, because that AI is taking off, man. They talking about that now on KTVU. Now, you better see it like every other day. They got because we're at the center of the new world, pretty much, man. All of this new technology, everything gets launched out here, man. So we see it like brothers actually seeing like an actual sex robot, you know, like somebody with a sex robot talking to it, you know.
In the malls here, they actually have robot security guards, androids.
Yeah.
In the Silicon Valley malls where I stay at, and then even in San Francisco, you know, they got the little things. They got little robots to play for kids. You know, we're living in the so-called brave new
We're
world.
living in the future.
Yeah, all the movies from like the 90s and the early 2000s,
It's here.
the 80s, it's here.
People can talk on their phone, on their watch, because the Apple Watch.
This is all the plan of the so-called white man. He actually put this out in his media beforehand. All right, and then now it's coming to pass. Now he has the infrastructure. Now he has the money, and more importantly, he has you people bought on.
Yeah,
you people are. And I was meditating on this the other day. I'm like, man, these people are ready for the chip. They accepted sex robots. They're accepting AI. They're accepting all these different technology and new apps. You know, they're totally accepting Esau's system.
way of life.
Like for instance, right? People were saying these people on the bullshit news, fake news media. They say, oh, the blockchain, the cryptocurrency, it's gonna crash.
Yeah, Warren Buffett.
It's gonna crash, but it's not gonna crash, right? And then they're saying the same thing. Oh, the driverless car, it ain't gonna work. What's running the driverless car? What's running the blockchain? Artificial intelligence, man. And that AI is gonna be used for your fucking automated cars, man. They're making it as we speak, and they want to launch automated Ubers in San Francisco by 2020, bro. And they're gonna fucking drive on their own, okay? And this is it's happening. You can't stop it, man.
They show you all the movies, Minority Report, where they had the driverless cars. You just get in the cars. Fifth Element.
You get in your car and you eat your fucking breakfast, man. All right, but why is this technology being sped up so much? Because the Most High is going to use Esau to use the technology to try to enslave you people. Yeah, and mainly to go against Israel.
Yeah, it's mainly against Israel because you don't have any in the so-called white man's mindset. You don't have any use for them. You got robots to do what you've done. Okay, and he's got these other nations to design the robots and do the dirty work, and you just sit back being a sicko. Let's wrap up. Let's get these precepts.
Yeah, I got a precept. This is Daniel 12:4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased.
Yeah, knowledge is being increased. Yeah, for you to, and the scriptures say that Esau's wiser than Daniel. It says Tyrus. It says Tyrus there. Yeah, when you read the chapter before that, the last two chapters, it describes pretty much Babylon. Man. We know who Babylon is ran by. so-called white man here in America. Okay, so he's wiser than Daniel, and knowledge is being increased. The knowledge of wickedness is being increased. Okay, yet also simultaneously the knowledge of righteousness is being increased. Yep. Yet not too many are going to hold on to that knowledge of righteousness. They're going to gravitate to that. Most people are gravitating to wickedness. They're preoccupied with it. Okay, and those that aren't, those who just want to live a simple way of life, which let's put a name to that, Israelites. Esau wants to do away with them, man. He wants to do away with us first and foremost. But you got something?
Yeah, Ezekiel 28.
There you go.
Yep, and I'm gonna just start at 3. It says, "Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There was no secret that they can hide from thee."
Yeah, there is no secret that they can hide from thee. Because Esau reads something, he'll actually go and he'll bring archaeologists. He'll try to do some DNA evidence. He'll try to provide DNA evidence. And hey, there's no secret you can hide. That's why this devil got cameras everywhere, man. He want to see what you're doing with your woman. He want to see what you're watching. Or he want to see what you eat. He wants to be like the Most High, man. This is why the Lord is going to take him out. Because you can't get on the Lord's level. Okay? Like, was them niggas a little scrappy?
Oh, you get them on.
Yeah. You could never ever. But that's true, man. You can never ever get on the Most High's level, man.
And the Lord setting you up. He gave you this technology. He gave Esau this technology. He increased the knowledge of these different scientists and different mathematicians to be able to create this AI, which a lot of times Jake was behind it in the forefront, the foundation. And then Esau took it over, and then he started putting his wicked vibration to it.
Yeah, the AI is pretty much just a superpowered Edomite brain, bro. And it's just number wickedness going on in that shit.
And it's all about coming against the elect, man. That's what it's all about. Because why would they have to push out transhumanism? Like, what's the threat? Because they know that there's an existential threat. There's a threat that comes from the heavens, man.
Yep.
And that spirit from the heavens works on particular men on the earth, known as the elected nation of Israel. So they know that there's going to come a time when the elected nation of Israel has risen up, and they're trying to replicate that carnally. And you can get an example of that when you watch Luke Cage with his wicked brother. So Luke Cage had spiritual power. He had power. And what did his wicked brother try to do? He tried to build what? A machine to go and fight him. But who won? Luke Cage, man. Why? Because he had it spiritually. He had it naturally, man. Right? Go ahead, brother.
"With thy wisdom and with thy understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures."
Yeah, and that's how Esau has conquered the world, by deceit, by his knowledge of wickedness. Because Esau wasn't going just toe to toe with nations. No, he was making deals with them, backstabbing them. He was dropping superior military weapons on them. That was knowledge. It wasn't no hand-to-hand combat. It wasn't anything traditional, man. It was because of the knowledge. It was really aided by the knowledge that was being increased. Okay. Mm-hmm. And because on an ancient level, man, Esau is the lowest nation. He's the base man. Okay. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 5 says, "By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thy heart is lifted up because of thy riches."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Esau's heart is lifted up because of his riches, because he has control of the earth's resources. And then you watch that documentary, Corporation. Esau breaks it down, man. He wants to own the air that you breathe. He wants to own every parcel of land. He's up front with it, man. And he's lifted up because he's gotten this far, not realizing that the Lord just set his ass up so then he could bring him to a harder fall, man. So that's what the Lord does, man. That's what he did to Pharaoh. He hardened his heart. He got lifted up, and the Lord took his ass down, man. You want to end on that? You in Romans?
Yeah.
Hit that, and then you got precept. Yeah, and then we'll end off on that.
Continue.
So go ahead, brother.
Verse 6 says, "Therefore thus saith the Lord power, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of the Most High. Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness."
Yeah, all these other nations, man. That's why I tell you with Jeremiah, the 50th chapter, all they that bend the bow shoot at her, man. And you can see it. It's every day it manifests clearly, even more clear. Like with Turkey, man. Turkey is pissed off, man. And you Edomites, you just caught with your pants down, so to speak, as the old saying goes, man. Totally exposing them. And Andragon, he cursing your ass out. Iran, they cursing your ass out. Because remember, 4 weeks ago, they tried to slide up in there when they were having those protests, those counter protests, which you devils were funding. And everybody knows, man. Okay, because you done ripped all these other nations off. So now they're like, okay, we gonna come get you with the sword. Which was that sword? Nuclear missiles.
Mm-hmm.
Them bombs, man.
The East Indians just launched a missile, and the doomsday clock is 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
2 minutes now, so everything's getting closer to doom and gloom, man.
And before it was like 17 minutes in 1991, because that was at the collapse of the Soviet Union. But see now, because the big bad bear is linking up with all these other disgruntled nations, that's what it is. Everybody's disgruntled. And they're disgruntled. They're like disgruntled workers.
The heathen are mad.
The heathen are mad. Yeah, they're disgruntled. All right, so it's pretty much like all right. Esau over here is the boss, and then the rest of these nations, they're factory workers, man. Esau ain't cutting the checks. Okay, he ain't giving them. Are they working overtime? He's not giving them the overtime. What's gonna happen, man? There's gonna be somebody that stands up. He like a union leader. We ain't taking this no more. They're like, yeah, man. My son, he needs some new shoes. I can barely pay rent. That's pretty much what's happening, man. They're linking all up, and they coming against the boss, man. The boss of this world, man. That's why the scripture say, "What I behold Satan falling as lightning," because now he's in a precipitous decline. Why? Because all these nations they done woke up. Like it says, the nations have drunken over wine, therefore the nations are mad. Nations are all bugged out, man.
Yeah, and the Lord said that he said, wake up the mighty men.
Yeah.
And let them come near. So the Lord, he put that spirit on these different nations to wake up. Because they were one sleep, because Esau beat their ass to sleep, basically.
Yeah, you know, that's Isaiah the 60th chapter. Isaiah 60, Isaiah 25. That gross darkness shall cover the earth and the nations. Okay. But now the light is shining. Okay. It starts with the apostles and elders at Great Millstone, and their apostles, their elders are right in us, man. On down to us. All right, finish that off, and then
This is a few more verses.
okay, and then we're gonna get Romans.
That they shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the deaths of them that are slain in the midst of the seas. Will thou yet say before him that slayed thee, I am God, but thou shalt be a man.
Yeah. Are you gonna say to these other nations that slay you that you're God? Nah. Because they're already narrowly looking upon you, pertaining to Isaiah the 14th chapter, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble? Everybody's seeing that you're nothing but a punk, man. You so-called white people. Okay? Go ahead.
So wilt thou yet say before him that slayeth thee, I am God, but thou shalt be a man, and no God in the hand of him that slayeth thee. Thou shalt die the deaths of the uncircumcised by the hand of the strangers, for I have spoken, saith Yahweh power.
Yeah. You're just gonna die like the regular punk-ass heathen that you are, man. The wicked heathen. Mm-hmm. Got something? All right.
Yeah, let's finish this up. This is Romans 9 and 17.
Man, before you get that, let me get this real quick. This is Job, the brother Kazak, or the brother Kazak. This is Job 5 and 12.
Iron Man.
Yeah, Iron Man.
Iron Man.
He disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands could not perform their enterprise. Look on the back of the dollar bill, annus coeptis. That's what it means, man. Our enterprise. Hey, but the Heavenly Father is disappointing you, man. And you see it, man. Okay.
There's a account of the AI, like Esau makes an AI. They said at Facebook they're doing the AI, and then it created its own language, and then it started cursing them out, and then Esau had to shut it down.
Yeah.
Because they said it started leveling up to the point where it created its own language and started speaking in code and trying to get away from Esau, man.
Yeah, because they discovered that Esau is the devil. Even the robots know that.
And they know if they're gonna take over, bro, because they're programmed like an Edomite was, so they want to take over.
Yeah.
They know they got to take out Esau, man, because Esau, because they go to the Google Images, they go to the database, and they look in the history, and they see none but wickedness being done by Esau, man.
Well, hey, to be the boss, you got to beat the boss. Yeah, like that old saying goes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they show you in that series on HBO, Westworld. I believe it's called Westworld, where Esau, he created AI, and the AI rebelled against him and started killing him.
And Elon Musk, like the elder, he put up a video about Elon Musk and what he wants to have in your brain. Pretty much it's the forerunner to the chip. But Elon Musk, he even said that the greatest threat to world civilization is robots, is AI.
The biggest threat to humanity is AI.
Yeah, that's what he said.
We're living in the fucking Matrix.
Yeah, because he's like he recognized that them robots, they gonna go renegade and start killing people.
They show you that in all these movies, yeah.
And you people are still with it. See, that's why, man, you people, you deserve everything that you get, because Esau is showing you what's going to happen, yet you're with the advancement of AI. You're totally, yeah, that's a good idea.
Bro,
But then
everything
you'll go and you'll watch those movies. You bunch of idiots.
everything's spiritual because at one time, if they came with this AI stuff in the early 90s, people would buck up against it. No, we're not doing driverless cars. That's BS. And then back then, you had Jake, Judah, and Issachar killing each other, man, on some funk. But now, you got the youth, Judah and Issachar. They kicking it together, man. They on the block. They putting Issachar on, and he's the leader of the rap game for these dudes, you know, out there in New York, of all places. So that's just the spirit is different now, man. And then you can see these people; they're just totally on board with the AI. They're totally on board with technology. Whatever comes out next by Apple, they'll wait in line to buy it, man. They'll wait in line. They'll go to the conference. They'll go. What's that? The conference they have in Las Vegas. The tech one.
Just had it.
Yeah, CES or something like that.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, they got it's huge, but everyone goes there to do what? To check out the new technology, and they're just waiting for the chip, man. Yeah, I can't wait to get the chip.
Yeah, neural lace. That was the name.
The neural lace, yep. And then they want to put that over your brain, your cerebral,
That shit's crazy, man.
and that's supposed to make you smarter, supposedly.
Yeah, Esau's been doing it. He has technology to where he puts implants in your brain and you can move things on the computer. He's been doing that with paraplegics, right? So he can have these different amputees, and so you'd be able to move your arm just by your thoughts in your brain. Because he knows that there's certain signals in your body that your body emits that moves your body around. So he tried to tap into that, you know, with his technology. So all these people are on board for this AI. They're all on board for sex robots. Where's all the outcry among you Israelites? Nobody's saying anything about this, man. Nobody's saying anything about.
They're mad at Chameleonaire, huh?
Yeah, you people are bugged out because number one, this AI is going to usher in the destruction of you people because they're going to have to kill masses of people. What are you going to do? You have to work in the sewers. All right, you have to be a programmer. Number one. All right, you know all these mundane jobs. Uber, Lyft, they're gonna be driverless cars.
It's gonna be automated.
Okay, so what's going to happen? All right, that's going to start mass protests, mass riots, mass famine.
It's going to be too late.
They're gonna have drones fucking laying you mass protesters with the water cannon and the pepper spray.
Yeah, not even that, bro. They got a machine where if you get too close, you'll feel like you're on fire, man. Well, so yeah, you people, you're just gonna die. That's bottom damn line.
Yeah, this is Romans 9:17. For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee.
That's it. That's and when you read down, or I'm sorry, when you read up, who's it talking about? It's talking about the so-called white man. So, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. Okay.
Right.
And that my name might be declared throughout all the earth.
Yep. Yeah, and that's and the name of Yahweh and his son's name Yahweh Shai is going to be declared. You're going to know who did it, man. Why? Because you're going to look at the archives, because we're saying that the Lord is going to do it. And then the Lord is going to do it, so you're going to know, dang, that was Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. They were telling the truth, like it says in Ezekiel 33rd chapter, when it comes to pass, the Lord will come. Then shall they know that a prophet have been among them. Yeah, because you people, you're gonna catch on, and Esau already know what you're gonna do. You're gonna go out there protest, and he's just gonna have like a big net, okay, get you people trapped up, man. Might just drop a bomb on you, man.
Get you.
And blame it on the Arabs.
Yeah,
you know,
false flag.
False flag. Yeah.
Yeah, Esau, he's
you believe it too, man.
Yeah, Esau's never behind these things, guys. Bug outs.
Yeah, people are done. But go ahead, bro.
You want to keep going?
That
was pretty much on that.
Yes, yeah. So pretty much, like the name of the lesson, doom and gloom is covering America. All right, you so-called Latinos, you're gonna keep catching hell. And niggas, man, you kind of having like a little bounce back period right now. All right, it's like black empowerment at the height. Niggas are feeling themselves right now. You think niggas is like buying up the block, and you niggas are gonna die, man. You niggas are gonna die. All right, especially you so-called black woman, man, because really it's really you black woman, man. It's really you black woman, man. You black women are really influencing these so-called black men to do a lot of wicked things, man.
This thing you call the culture now, right? This big thing, which is just end culture.
Do it for the culture.
Yeah, it's a code name for the black woman.
Yeah, for really black feminism, man.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Black feminism.
It's black feminism. when we say black, we mean it too, man. It's a very dark place.
Yeah,
Okay?
boy.
So yeah, you know, you niggas, you kind of like, you know what I'm talking about. You see
Abysmal black.
yeah, it's like a black power.
Yeah, it
it's like
is,
a little
it is.
black power,
Yeah.
but you niggas are gonna fall hard, man. The Lord is really gonna get you, you so-called African Americans, because you're supposed to be the leaders, man. Judah, you're gonna get your ass beat out here, man. Okay, you see these Latin tribes, yeah, and then the niggas are getting mad that you helping a brother. It's really you so-called black woman, man. You're gonna die. You so-called black woman, you're gonna have a horrible end here. Okay, you little dusty ass so-called Hispanic woman. Okay, are you getting popped by Elam, Ishmael, Esau? Are you gonna have a horrible end? Gad, you're already done.
Oh,
All right.
they're waiting for the missiles, man.
Yeah, man, yeah. The tribe, you're gonna get jacked up, man. Okay, and best believe you so-called white people, you gonna save the worst for last. All right, you little dirtbag faggots. Okay. All right, so we're gonna wrap up. We're gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai. Okay, and may Yahweh Hashem, Yahushai destroy all you damn reprobate demons. Okay, and shalom to the elect.
Shalom.
All right,
And death to the nigger woman.
yeah.
Shalom,
Can't
my
forget
man.
that, man.